I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Xifeng joins us. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Xifeng. It's nice to meet you all. This is finally happening after we've tried and it failed, but we're here finally.
Yeah, it took a little while. We had to have technology keep up with us. We're too far ahead of the game.
I think so too.
I appreciate you being patient with me and getting this set up and ready to go. So when did you first get started VTubing?
I initially started VTubing last year, actually. But I think, they say right timing or the wrong time, right place, and it was just all over the place, and I needed to take some time off, and so I took a few months off, actually. And then I came back in April, I want to say, of this year, and I think it was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah. What brings you back to VTubing? What you say it's the best decision you ever made, so it must mean a lot to you. But why?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've always wanted to stream, and I love entertaining. I've been doing it for my family since I was a child.
Yeah.
And so I just think with VTubing, it just added the layer of privacy, which I really appreciate. Because nobody's really looking at the way you look or the way you dress, and everything is just, it's your character, it's you, it's what you can bring to the table. And I love that aspect of it because it opens doors for so much more creativity when the main focus isn't the way that you look per se.
Yeah. Well, having a sometimes the model does bring people in.
Oh, definitely. I think that does play a very big role as well. But I think that's the fun part about it because that's where the creativity comes in. And I think all of us have the opportunity to be creative in that aspect. And it doesn't really, even if you're being judged, because I guess I think it's human nature to be a little bit judgmental. But I just like the fact that we can be creative with the model and it's not real life.
Yeah. And it's not really some people take it as a persona and some take it as a character, and some people take it as just an extension of themselves. Which one is that for you?
Initially, I thought it would be an extension of myself, but I just love the whole idea of her being a character, especially because I'm a writer and I love that so much. It's like I created my own character and I get to play her.
Yeah. Okay. So you are doing the vicarious living type of thing through her.
That's exactly what it is. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Now you say you're a writer. What types of things are you a writer of?
Okay, so initially I started when it's online, it's just more of the playful, a little bit 18 plus for the adults, but outside of Twitter and outside of I guess the character and the persona that I have online, I do a lot of literature because I studied literature. And so I love the historical Chinese dramas, and I take a lot of my inspiration from that. So everything is sort of fantasy and like the historical side of things.
Right.
When it's off the internet, obviously, like for more like the real life stuff that I'm interested in.
Wow, I envy you being able to do that. I really do. I mean, they say everybody's got a story to write down, knocking around your brain, but the talent is getting that on to where people can read it. And have you always been someone who was able to do that? Get those ideas out of your head and on the paper?
Yes. I think that's I like to say it's my biggest gift that I have is being able to write, and the ideas just flow naturally. I think that's something that I was gifted with, and I'm very grateful for that because that does open doors for so many different opportunities I think when you're good at writing and forming those ideas, it opens doors for a lot of other things.
Well, you're an artist with words, and some people are artists with paint and that type of stuff. But writers are artists as well, and people need to realize that. Um,
I definitely agree with that. Yes.
yes, and being an artist, I imagine that you've had situations where you've written something and people would say, "Yeah, you're absolutely done," and you're like, I'm not done," and you go back and start working on it again.
Yes, that's happened one too many times. And then sometimes when you get that comment, I know it comes from a good place, but now it's like, actually, I'm not done. And now I have to redo everything and restart from the beginning. Um, it gets stressful sometimes.
Yeah, it does. But sometimes obsessive. I imagine it. Does that happen to you where you've worked on something and then you're like every day you're kind of obsessing over it?
Yes, and that's the only thing that's in your mind from the moment you wake up to the moment that you go to bed. That's all that you think about.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, that does happen. That does happen with many things, but for an artist, that certainly does. Now, would you be able to, or since you go online and do the games, would you think about writing for maybe a visual novel that people could actually play on the computer?
If I was given the opportunity, I absolutely would. I think that would be fun
Yeah.
because I love the world building, the word building, and character building. That's like everything in one. So that would be really exciting. I'd definitely be interested in that.
I think that would be something else because if you based it off, like you say, the Chinese history, and I haven't seen anything online that anybody has done as far as that goes. That would be very very new for people.
That would be because I think a lot of the ones that already exist, um, I think it's very like it's catered towards a certain group of people, so
Hmm.
not everybody can enjoy it.
Hmm.
So I would try to make mine different and do something different where everybody can feel like they're included in it.
Hmm.
I'd definitely be interested in something like that.
That would be very interesting to see. And you hook up with a good animator and an artist, that would be that would be something to see. Now, what are you doing online right now? Are you just doing games right now, or are you doing?
So right now, I do a little bit of everything. I think the main focus for right now is games because I love gaming.
Right.
But sometimes we'll have like I did say like once I start to grow more, I want to do a lot more things involving my writing.
Hmm.
So I haven't really done that yet, but that is something that I'd like to do. So at the moment it's just gaming. And then we do a lot of like the reading and we'll do some confession streams.
Ah.
Um I find that that's really fun, but I do want to add my own twist to things. So I think that involving my writing.
Yeah. So you do the confession streams. Is has it been easy for you to interact with chat?
Yes, actually. I think it's something that's natural for me because I used to do a lot of public speaking.
Mm.
And so I think I'm very good at being able to speak to chat and it's just something that's natural. So yes, definitely.
So now I'm jealous of you again. Now, not only do you write, but you can get up in front of people and talk, which I'm one of my fears has been that for a long time. But did that come naturally for you?
Well, when I was in primary school, we used to have like these clubs for it.
Uh huh.
And then it would be like on a weeknight, they'd have like parents come over and then you just speak in front of a hall. And I think when it first happened, I didn't really have a choice. I was one of the good readers in class, so I
Mm.
was chosen.
Right.
And then once I got over the fear the first time, it becomes something that's natural once you do it more than once.
Wow. Yeah. My envy is reaching its peak right now. Yeah, you're very very multi talented, obviously, and
Thank
it
you, thank you.
and it's great that there is a medium that can show that off a little bit because 20 years ago we wouldn't be having this conversation and you wouldn't be able to show the public what you have like this.
That's true. That's another reason why I think VTubing, well, streaming as a whole, but I think VTubing is really cool because it gives different people who have different talents the opportunity to show that off. And I think
Mhm.
if people do have social anxiety, I think VTubing helps with that because, like I said, they don't really see you; they see your character or your persona.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it's a little bit easier for them to showcase their talents without having to worry about everything else that comes with that.
So how has VTubing affected you off the internet? Has it helped you get through the day? Has it overcome some fears? What's it done for you?
I think, honestly, when it comes to like mentally, it has helped a lot because I have something to look forward to. Because I think, with the real world and real life, sometimes it can get intense. And when you have something that's like your outlet, and in my case, that would be like the VTubing and just the writing that's online for me, I do think that VTubing has helped with that a lot.
I'm glad to hear that, and there are a lot of people who kind of use it as a therapeutic way to get through things as well. But it sounds like you've really been able to embrace it, and it's kind of embraced you too.
Yes, it has. And I think at first I didn't think that it would, but I'm glad I took the opportunity and I was like, just give it a try. You never know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't regret trying it.
When you first did it, did you have any trouble getting on? Was it a little rough adjusting to what VTubing was all about?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think that's why I took that really, really big break
Mm.
because it was so bad. Um, I remember just being so overwhelmed. I think when something doesn't go your way with the internet, I would have breakdowns over that. But I think now I've learned to navigate around that.
Mm-hmm.
So it did take a lot for me to finally just embrace it. And now I know how to work everything and do everything the way that I want it to be.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, have you got anything that, since you are an artist, a word artist, I poke fun at everybody all the time that artists are never quite satisfied, never quite satisfied. um,
That is very true. Never, never,
yeah.
ever. We're always looking for something else to, I think, just to satisfy. I think I call it intense curiosity. That's
Mm.
my problem.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. I've one of the things that I enjoy about with these talks and interviews is that I'm always curious. I want to know what's going on with it, and I hope the folks who are listening are too. Too
Yes,
many
yes.
There's too many things to inquire about and find out about. You're never bored if you're really curious. Uh,
That's true.
yeah, there's always something to look up. Um, what type of games are you playing right now?
So I do a lot of reading games. I'll do a lot of the RPG because those are my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love horror games as well.
Oh,
So it's mainly those ones. I haven't yet tried anything else, but I think I love the RPG and the horror games the most.
which game right now are you streaming?
I've been streaming a lot of Nikkei.
Mm.
So it's an RPG shooting game, and I love the fact that all the characters are women. That's my favorite part about the
No,
game.
they definitely are women. Yes,
Yes, definitely.
I don't think there's
And
much
then,
doubt about that.
yes. And then I think I love the cozy game, which is Stardew Valley. I think that's my obsession.
There you go.
Yes, I love Stardew Valley.
Mm, I have managed to stay away from it for a while because I would like to have a little time away from the computer every once in a while because
I think if you had to start, that's the only thing that you'd want to do all day.
oh
It's just Stardew Valley.
I have over 30 save files.
Okay, so you're definitely worse than I am.
I mean, I know that the last update that changed some things is there, but I'm really scared to start because I will not stop until I run
No,
through it
you
with.
definitely won't stop.
Oh, it's crazy, but it's such a great game to relax with. But still, folks will tune in, and if you do it online, people will still come in and watch it. It's to know that only one person did that is pretty amazing.
It is incredible.
Yeah, it gives a person an idea of what a creative person can do if they really put their nose to the grindstone and believe in it. And I think that's what isn't
Yes.
that what you have to do as a writer too? You have to believe in what you're doing.
Oh, definitely, because you could write anything, and if you don't like the way that it comes out, and you don't, there's no passion behind it. It's just words at the end of the day, and it can be scrapped so easily because you're not happy with it.
Hmm.
So I think you need to be passionate about what you're writing and what you're putting down, whether it's something that you do on paper or if you're on the laptop or whatever. You have to be passionate about what you're doing, or else it's just words.
Do you put a lot of yourself into the writing? And do you write conversationally, or do you write by the textbook writing? What's your style there?
I do a little bit of both because I learned like when it comes to writing, obviously that's something that's subjective, just the way that art in general is subjective.
Hmm.
And writing is something that changes over the years, and you'll see new types of writing styles every single month. There's something new. And so I just like to incorporate a little bit of everything instead of going by the book, because I think sometimes when you're following the textbook writing, it's not fun.
Hmm.
And I think it takes away the passion if you're just doing it the way that everybody else expects you to do it. But I think when you're doing it with your own twist, it becomes a lot more fun, because then you can say, this is mine, I wrote this, it's everything that's important to me.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of gives it a human voice, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Hmm. And I think that it's if you use, and again, it's just my personal taste, I guess. But if you use more colloquial and more um, conversational words, it you can better describe the situation and really get a picture in your brain. You're looking at it through human eyes rather than a cold computerized. Uh, I mean that type of thing. You really get immersed into it.
I agree, because I think the problem is like when you're doing it like textbook, and you just sometimes people will use these big words, even in fan fiction they'll use these big words, and sometimes you can't connect to it as a reader, because sometimes it feels like it's so unnecessary, and at times it doesn't even make sense, because you could use simple words and still get your point across.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes it more fun, because again, like you were saying, it's more human that way.
Oh, you cut me deep there. I like using big words.
Now,
uh,
I don't mind. I think it depends on the context of your writing as well. If your writing is more, or rather the piece that you're working on, if it's more fun, I think people expect it to be more fun.
yeah,
And if it's serious, then of course, yes, definitely.
yeah. And again, it's your own style and what you want to bring across. I imagine there are some topics that are easier to do that with than others.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, it if you sometimes and two, I'd imagine you have to do it if you're writing in first person. You have to do it as how the character you're talking about, how they're narrating it, how they would speak or think about things.
Oh, yes, that's definitely important. And I think that's what the fun part about the character building is, because each character has their own personality. So when you're writing it that way, I think it shows in your writing as well, the different characters and their different personalities.
Has that carried over that type of outlook on personalities? Has that carried over into your VTubing?
A little bit. I would say so.
Hmm. Yeah, you communicating with more than one person like the chat. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing in the world, but I am amazed at your ability to do that and also kind of write without an audience. Some people can
It,
do one or the other, but
it,
not both.
yes.
Yeah.
I think it takes practice. It takes practice. And I think, honestly, if you're passionate about something, as long as you keep trying and trying and trying, you will get it right. I know the first time you might fail, even the second time you might fail, but I think the more you push and the more you're passionate about something, there is absolutely nothing that can stop you from doing it.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you got to keep going, and it helps to have a little wind under your wings every once in a while. Um,
That's true.
yeah, and when you write something out, and some folks keep journals, some people write for themselves, do um, have loads of stuff on their computer they've written. what what type of thrill or what type of feeling is it for you to have someone else read what you've done?
I love it, especially because there's websites where you can post your works and people comment. I love reading the comments.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it just gives me a boost.
Mm-hmm. How did you get over? How It's a mountain, though, isn't it?
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, when you
I have a slight irritation.
oh, no problem. When you go from writing it, there's how was it easy for you to show people what you were writing?
Not at first. I think I was really scared, but I had really good teachers who were very supportive with my writing, and I think that kind of pushed me towards writing more
Uh-huh.
and showing the public what I have.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I think a lot of people have journals and stuff that they keep, but showing it to people is to me is very brave in a
Oh,
way.
it definitely is.
Yeah, it's you're putting it out there for. Here's what I've done. I'm proud of it. What do you think? And you get a thumbs up or thumbs down or thumbs in other places. if they're
That's true.
yeah, if
And I
they're
think you have to be prepared for that.
yeah, yeah. And have you had that situation before where somebody's just absolutely torn into something you've done and for no apparent reason other than to be nasty?
I have, and I've learned to deal with it better because in the beginning, I was a little bit of a fighter, but I've
Yeah.
learned sometimes um, no response is a better response because sometimes they do it because they want your attention and it's like they want you to be aggressive,
Yeah.
and that's something that I had to learn.
Yeah, the fight response is high.
It is, and it's something that's so natural, but it's gotten better as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
So you learn to I think it's something you learn to deal with because not everybody's going to like what you do,
Yeah. And
and that's something that you just have to accept.
and sometimes when you step back far enough, you look at what they write and you just think that's really pathetic.
Exactly that. Yes.
And people actually took the time to do that, or at my age, it's people have the energy to do that.
I
I,
think it's. I always look at it like that. Like the fact that this person took their time out to write that, it seems like it's more ridiculous than anything else.
mhm.
And half the time, I feel like they don't even read the stuff that they're writing. So it's why should I?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes they come up with some funny stuff, but
Oh,
it's
definitely. My friends and I will have a laugh,
yeah,
but it's never made me feel demotivated.
it's excellent. You have such a great attitude toward this. And it's very obvious how much you enjoy the VTubing and the writing as well. And it's great it's uplifting to talk to you about this. Um,
Thank you so much.
it
Thank you.
it really is. So for your channel, do you have any big plans here? Anything big coming up?
At the moment, not really, because I think I want to work. Well, there is something I'm working on, but I'd like to keep that a secret for a little bit longer.
Oh,
Um, but I will say, something that I really love is I wanted to do like my own little podcast. I have started it already,
oh,
but
good.
I think in future I definitely would like to have VTubers on there so we could talk about different topics and stuff like that. Because I know like collabing is like a big thing in the VTube community,
Right,
but I think it would be fun to have like something like it's a podcast style. So we're kind of just talking without really following any script or anything.
right.
I really love that because I love to talk.
Well, it's a great thing, and you're going to have a great angle at it too. Having being a VTuber and being able to talk about some inside things that somebody like I don't really know, and I absolutely encourage that sort of thing. I think it's wonderful that people will want to come on and talk and discuss things because a conversation like we're having is
Yes, yes.
is fun. It's fun for me,
It is fun.
and I enjoy meeting folks and finding out a little bit about them. And there's so many great stories among VTubers, and why and what they do. And there's so many of you around it, to catch and get on the air. But
I think it's really exciting the amount of VTubers that are around.
yeah,
Like there's always something new.
yeah, and everybody's got a story. So I'm looking forward. When are you planning to get that started?
I think the minute that I think once I'm comfortable with myself and streaming, because I think like I'm still a little bit nervous sometimes.
Hmm.
So I think once I've reached that comfortability and I'm happy where I am, then I think I'll be comfortable to invite people on as well.
Well, let me know so we can do a little promotion for you here, and and
Thank you.
and we'll get on and discuss what you got planned and everything along those lines because
I definitely will.
I think the art of actually having conversations is is almost lost, and I hope that
That's true.
yeah, and I hope that people can just pick that up and run with it and and you got my thumbs up. Go go go!
Thank you.
Absolutely. Long term now, looking at the far future. Where do you want your channel to go, and what would you like to accomplish?
Honestly, I haven't really thought long term, and this is a conversation I was having the other day. Um, because I saw a post and they were talking about how at what point does streaming end, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't even thought of that. Um, I just really want to focus. I think I'm in the type of person that's in the now. I like to live in the moment
Hmm.
because I think anytime that I think about 2 months from now, I'm already freaking out about what's going to happen within the 2 months. And then I'm like, okay, now I have to force myself to reach every single goal that I have within 2 months. And then that's the only thing that I'm focused on. So I kind of like to live in the moment, but I would like to grow. I think every VTuber wants to grow. I think that would be a lie for me to say I don't care about that. I definitely do.
Hmm.
And I would like to, I guess, meet new people during my journey of VTubing because I think that will be fun.
Yes.
But I think for me, the growth will, I think the way that I see growth is like I'm doing something that I love and people appreciate that. So they want to be a part of that. So I think once I start to grow in that regard, I can see, okay, I'm really doing something that people can enjoy as well and people can appreciate.
Well, you're already doing that. You can mark that. You can check that box right now.
Yep, that's the goal. Okay, that one is checked.
Xifeng, thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate it,
Thank you for having me.
and getting through the kind of some hurdles to get from here to there, and sticking
At
with
least
me.
we made it. That's what's important.
That's absolutely important. Well, what's important is we got to talk to a wonderful person, and we certainly have done that today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, and we'll get you back on again here real soon once you get some of that stuff going, especially that podcast interview thing. I want to give that a big promotion.
Thank you so much.
Yep, we're going to have the links to what Xifeng is doing on the in the description for the podcast here. And again, Xifeng, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Eric. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.